So yesterday we ended up having the Vanguard reveal and everything, did the old, event, and then the trailer drops and all that stuff at the end of it. And if you haven't done that yet, I'm pretty sure that the playlist is still actually available. But realistically, you don't have to actually play the event. I mean, unless you want, like, the little extra charms and little bullshit like that. But just go on to YouTube and watch the trailer instead of doing the, 15 minutes of shooting explosives and shit at a train. The event, pretty lackluster, but in terms of the trailer is actually pretty good. The only thing that I saw from people in terms of, like, disliking it, like, actually, is literally all based on setting. Which, realistically, if that's the only complaint, we're in a decent spot. Also, a lot of people just have been successfully brainwashed into not understanding the difference between saying Vanguard and Warzone Vanguard. It's really terrible what they did to you guys. It's insane that you don't even realize what they did to you. They've been able to lie to you long enough to where you actually believe it. To the point to where you now lie for them. Acting like things before 2019 weren't the way that they were and shit like that. Like, the Modern Warfare multiplayer, ooh, some of the worst design ever. Overall, I was actually pretty excited for, Vanguard anyway before I even ended up seeing gameplay, so. The plan isn't necessarily to just actually spectate this shit, because it's just, background or whatever. Didn't really feel like playing anything, that's COD related, but I'm gonna be talking about COD, so. Oh, he's coming in hot. Oh? Wait, this guy is stealthy. Because he wanted to take his time to try to get a better shot, he now has lost sight of him. Well, obviously, with Vanguard coming out, I believe since Modern Warfare Remastered, what year did that come out? It came out November 4th, 2016, and from what we know, the release date for Vanguard is November 5th or whatever, so it's gonna be going on 5 years at this point to where I have completed the Mastery camos and stuff like that, and people were actually doing it beforehand. The first Mastery camo I ended up unlocking was a very, very underrated one that people don't even mention, but it's Exclusion Zone. I mean, I'm definitely not, excited for a World War II era game. People have always preferred the modern version of things, what today feels like, what realistically feels like it could exist right now. At least not be sent back in time to be hard capped and just use shitty small little things. Like, some people are like getting real technical with it. They're like, oh, if you add World War II weapons, how do you expect them to compete with the modern weaponry of today? And it's just like, first of all, this is Warzone we're talking about. If we're gonna talk about sense, let's not talk about Warzone. Warzone is literally the playing field, the plane that they created. Mash everything from their universe into it. It's not going to make sense. It never was supposed to. Yeah, the Thompson will actually have probably higher bullet velocity than a fucking a mini Uzi, an MP5, some shit like that. Like, yeah, probably. Older rifles will likely end up having better bullet velocity than the fully automatic random weapons and shit that we have in Modern Warfare. It's just the case. For balance's sake, that's how they're going to do it. This whole shit where people are like theorizing that there's no point and all the modern weaponry is just gonna completely outperform. Stop. Let me see if I can find the clip of me actually unlocking the Exclusion Zone.
Come on, come back! Don't run from me! Yes! I got it!
Oh, M19 gold camo. All right, don't kill me, don't kill me. Pistol Regal camo. Pistol Regal camo. Please say Exclusion Zone.
Yes! There it is, baby! Woo!
Oh. Oh. I felt so good when I ended up unlocking Exclusion Zone, dude, that it just, it started something brand new for me. Like, for me before, like, during that time, I was making, for Forever 3, which was my last montage that I made. At that point in time, montages were like the thing that a lot of people tried to put together and people actually gained a lot of notoriety off of as players. Now you just have to put a fuck ton of hours in on a stream, maybe win a tournament or something like that, and boom bam bop, you're good. Whereas the montages before, people would spend months and months and months of time on it, upload it, and just pray that people would enjoy it. After going through a ridiculous amount of grind, setting a ridiculous amount of standards and shit that the general public don't even completely understand how fucking hard it actually is. And on top of the fact now that they have conditioned the entire player base to completely discredit anything that a good player does, montages aren't fucking worth it, which is why I haven't done it. The fuck would I spend months on a montage to go and do some shit like that when literally you could just sit here and spectate and it'll do 8,000 times better. It's just, there's no point. Like, I respect the whole thing where people are still making montages and shit like that, but if you're trying to, like, actually do this shit consistently, repeatedly, all day, every day, montages just are not it anymore. So when I got that camo, I made Forever, and then from that point on, since I didn't have a montage that I was aiming to make every single year anymore, like, every new game I had this idea that I wanted to go and make a nice montage on the game. But now the goal is to just unlock camos and do the, challenges that a lot of people don't really want to do. Also, obviously, when when Vanguard comes out, I actually don't know if the Warzone map is going to drop directly with Vanguard's release. I don't know if that's going to be directly on release or if it's going to be Season 1, because what's going to happen is we're going to get the game and there's going to be a preseason for like 2 weeks probably, and then Season 1 will start. So I'm wondering if UBR players that are waiting for this might have to wait a little bit longer. But during that time where you're going to be waiting for that new map, and obviously you're going to be only wanting that new map and not wanting to play the old Verdansk anymore, people are absolutely going to hop on multiplayer and go to unlock the Mastery Camo just like they did on Cold War. The thing is, I think this multiplayer will be good. I really do trust Sledgehammer. The thing is, though, there's one thing that I've been hearing recently that is concerned me. With it being on the Modern Warfare engine, you could assume that mounting is likely going to be in the game. Maybe, maybe not. Now, the thing is, we've been hearing about this blind fire mechanic. Is the blind fire mechanic going to replace the mounting mechanic? Great, a jailbreak. I don't want to be alive. Let me die. Sitting around here just trying to think of what could the new Mastery Camo be. I don't think that they'll do Chrome again. I don't think so. Especially if they know that this Mastery Camo is the thing that could keep people on the game for at least 2 weeks. Because realistically, if you sat down and grinded the game for 2 weeks straight, within 2 weeks, you could probably unlock the Mastery Camo before the new season starts. Or at least get very, very close to it. We just don't really know what the challenges are going to be. And if the mounting mechanic isn't in the game and is actually replaced by blind fire, and they're not two separate things, my biggest worry is that they're actually two separate things. What if blind fire nice, man, isn't replacing it, but it's actually just another form of firing? So, for example, you could just stand behind something and just shoot regularly, or you can mount and, you know, decrease your recoil and stuff like that, or you could choose to blind fire by putting your back to the wall and then putting the gun over your head and just firing like this. I'm seeing challenges where it says, get 50 blind fire kills with your sniper rifle or some stupid shit like that, on top of getting 50 mounted kills or something. The reason I believe that they might actually be two separate mechanics is because, number one, it's on the Modern Warfare engine, so I'm going to assume, because it's also in unison with Warzone, even more so than Cold War, I don't think that they'll have the game act too differently. I think they learned that with Cold War. I feel like mounting is probably going to be here to stay unless we get, like, a huge uproar from people, and blind firing is just going to end up being... oh, I already have a feeling. Now imagine those features, but then combine them with the grind of Sledgehammer games. I think they're more likely to listen to feedback is my point. Pretty terrifying coming to the realization that this grind might be kind of disgusting. At one point, after I unlocked the Chrome Camo on that game, eventually after that point, they added Chrome Tiger, and then they also added extra camos that you ended up getting like every 100 or 200 levels or something like that, that would literally change the color of the stripes on the Chrome Tiger. It would keep upgrading it, basically. That's something I feel like they could have done here, especially with something as underwhelming as Obsidian and stuff like that. I'm happy that they also did add an Obsidian later, you know, for the grind, so I do respect that. But again, it is Obsidian, and it's not as deep. Infinity Ward adding Obsidian is not exactly the same thing the way that Sledgehammer really did it. Sledgehammer's was like a progression camo thing. It like upgraded, not as just like a different challenge that really doesn't amount to anything. If you were to get to level 1000 on there, you would get all of the Chrome Tiger camos and all of their variants and stuff like that. So I'm excited to actually like just grind the ever-living shit out of all those, get them, and then potentially, or should be able to anyway, not even potentially, you should be able to use them in Warzone. The shit that people would not want to do in multiplayer, if you bring that over in the Warzone, people are going to be looking at you like, what the pink stripes or whatever that are on the Chrome Camo, the pink fluorescent glowing stripes on Chrome, that's like one of the highest. It's nuts. Obviously, I don't hope that they add Chrome or whatever. I hope it's something better. I really do. I hope they don't go down this route of like ultra gritty, stick to the war-torn, accurate bullshit. We don't care, bro. We really don't care. If we care about success, you don't need it. The story, however you want to do it, keep that grounded and everything. Don't add lasers to World War II story mode, obviously. Once it gets in the multiplayer in Warzone, it's all free. They also must know, they must know that people are more likely to spend things on like ridiculous, over-the-top, flashy shit. It's more likely that people will buy that than some underwhelming shit. If you were to add the Chrome Camo into the store to buy buy it. Somebody would have chosen an anime skin over that gun. No doubt in my mind. Chrome camo literally looks like when you slap it on your gun that you're just screaming, I'm in second place, even though you're actually the first place winner. It's like being handed a silver medal in the first place podium. It's just kind of awkward, doesn't look like it's correct. You expect it to be something else, and it's just not. Try to make it fun at the very least, please. I really don't want to have to get like 10,000 blind fires in total, please. Unless it's actually pretty good, but then I kind of worry about, well, a really good blind firing mechanic. I don't think they would add blind firing over to Warzone though, right? They wouldn't be able to add that feature, would they? I don't think that would be good. Good luck. Well, we're just gonna be sitting around waiting for, you know, multiplayer gameplay, any kind of gameplay to drop at some point, just somebody playing the game, so we'll see it soon. Hopefully.